That's great. Thank you. I'm going to move it over a little bit. Oops.
Okay. Bring it in a little bit.
Right there. Is it live?
Yeah.
It sounds like it is.
It's on. That's good there.
That's great. So super. Thank you, John.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this final concert in our Power of Pipes concert series. Just so nice to see such a great turnout tonight. My name is John Kopp. I'm one of the organizers for this series. And I just want to point out a couple things. Hopefully, when you came in, you kind of saw me kind of getting these program booklets for you also. If you either have one of these song sheets and then one of these program booklets. If you missed that, we've got a few left over there, so we can certainly help you out with that. Also want to point out a couple things that you'll find in this program booklet. There's a bunch of information in here about the Northeastern Wisconsin chapter of the American Guild of Organists, and I want to just, you could read that at your leisure, but I just want to point out a couple things in there. We are, one of the ministries we have as part of our chapter is a scholarship program for people that are interested in learning how to play the organ. And so we are collecting a free will offering tonight, and that supports that program. Just an incredibly important ministry that we have that we're very proud of. So please give generously to that if you're able to do so. The other thing I want to mention is that in the booklet here, there is some information about how you can sign up for our email mailing list. And this is very important so you can figure out when next summer's concerts are, okay? So this is, this booklet tells you this year, but we haven't figured out exactly what we're doing for next summer, but we will email that to that distribution list, so you can definitely go on the computer and sign up for that. That would be fabulous. Would like to thank First Methodist for hosting us here tonight, and we'll hear from Lina, I think, who has a few things to say as well.
Good evening. Welcome to the First United Methodist Church. On behalf of our congregation and our staff, I'm excited for you to be here to hear Jeff play this dainty little organ that we have in our sanctuary that we're very proud of. And we're very proud to show off Jeff's skills. I would say to you that if you would like to hear more from Jeff, you're welcome to join us to worship on Sunday mornings at 8:45 as he is here with us every day. For those of you who are not familiar with our sanctuary, Jeff plays from the balcony there, so you'll be watching him up on the big screen. He is going to speak from the balcony, so you'll be able to hear. He is mic'd, and we'll ask that when the concert is over, let Jeff come downstairs. It's a little warmer up there than it is down here, and so you want to give him an opportunity to come downstairs and be able to greet him then. We'll also have a reception out in the gathering area, which is through those double doors, so you'll have an opportunity to grab a bottle of water, a cookie, and be able to socialize with one another and also speak to Jeff. Also, if you're not familiar, if you need to go to the men's room or the ladies' room, you'll go out those double doors. The ladies' room is on the right, the men's room is on the left. I believe that is everything Jeff had asked me to share with you. So again, thank you on behalf of the First United Methodist Church for coming here this evening to enjoy Jeff's concert. We welcome you to be with us on Sunday morning and enjoy. I've been listening to him rehearse, and it's pretty fantastic.
Good evening, everyone. Along with the others, I'd like to also say thank you for coming tonight and welcome to First United Methodist Church. We'd love to have you here, and we're glad to be able to be of hospitality to you for this evening, and I hope you enjoy the program. First piece that you heard tonight, of course, was the Fanfare for the Common Man by Aaron Copeland in an arrangement for organ. This whole program tonight, as I do every year, is a program that I would never play on Sunday morning. So you're going to hear things that are going to be a little bit out there, things that will be from operas, from orchestral literature, things like that. But these are things that are just going to be a little bit different for you this evening. Fan for the Common Man. Inspired by a speech. This goes back to 1942 when Aaron Copeland wrote this. Speech was given by the American Vice President Henry A. Wallace, in which Wallace proclaimed the dawning of the century of the common man. That was, I think, the name of the speech, which was inspired by the United States entry into World War II. Copeland is certainly one of his most popular pieces, if not the most popular. Move from this to the next selection by Jan Pedersen Sweelinck, Unter den Linden Grüne. That's the German title of it, even though this guy was Dutch. Under in Lindenkron, I think would be a good pronunciation for that. Under the green linden trees. Okay, this is a very popular melody back in the 1500s, 1600s, and what Sweelinck did for both church melodies as well as popular melodies, in this case, popular melody, he wrote improvisations on these things and variations and stuff like that. This piece has 4 variations on the tune, which you'll be thankful for because it's a long tune. So otherwise we'll be here for a very long time. However, Sweelinck was known for improvising on tunes for very, very long extended periods. He could easily improvise on a tune for over an hour. So it was like, okay, well, we're not doing that tonight. So you're welcome. Pieces like this that he wrote can be played organ or harpsichord. Okay, so harpsichordists also play this same piece. Thank you very much. This next piece is a very interesting piece, and I hope you'll like it because it really is very beautiful, but it has an interesting story behind it. Mr. Ben Johnson's Pleasure. That title alone would keep it out of a church bulletin, right? And actually, when I first encountered this piece in my library, I thought that's probably good for tonight's concert, okay, because of the title. But I did some investigation on this piece, and it's so much more than that, which is really pretty cool. The subtitle of this piece is called A Study on an Old English Tune. Okay, so that's why it's a beautiful thing. It's based on an English tune, actually, as was the last piece, the spelling piece. Ben Jonson, for those of you who may not know, which I had to check on this, and apparently he's much more famous than I thought, is an English playwright and poet. He lived from 1572 to 1637. So basically, he was a contemporary of Shakespeare. And he was the second most important English dramatist after Shakespeare during the reign of King James I. So he was very famous, very well known. And so what's the connection here? It continues. Robin Milford, who wrote this piece, born in Oxford, England, and attended the Royal College of Music, studied with Holst and Vaughan Williams. So this places him at the early part of the 20th century. The text on which the melody is based on a poem written by Ben Jonson titled To Celia. Celia, the name Celia, Celia, published in 1616. The text begins with, "Drink to me only with thine eyes." Just the first couple bars of that, or a couple lines. "Drink to me only with thine eyes, and I will pledge with mine, or leave a kiss but in the cup, and I'll not look for wine." It continues on. Some of you may know this piece. This is actually, the melody dates back to the 1700s, might have been original to this piece, someone putting a melody to Ben Jonson's text. So it goes back to about 1770. It's been very, very popular. Paul Robeson, Bing Crosby, Johnny Cash, Spencer Tracy, Robert Young in film, and by Patricia Routledge in Keeping Up Appearances as Hyacinth Bucket. They all sang this piece. Okay, so when you hear it slowly, you don't necessarily catch the tune. But now that I told you what the tune is, da 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 da, you'll hear it. So I hope you enjoy. This next piece is a big one. It's a significant work by Mozart, and very interesting piece that a lot of organists know this piece or know of this piece, but the public doesn't hear it too often. Mozart loved the organ. He began playing the organ when he was 8 years old. He was very small and therefore could not reach the pedals normally. He stood up to play the pedals. So see, here he is standing to play the pedals, right? When he was 8 years old. And he played the instrument, played the organ throughout his life. He'd go around from town to town, wanted to always play the organ, check out the instruments. He was the one that gave the organ the title, the King of Instruments. Okay, Mozart. Okay, and that's a pretty good acclamation there. This piece that I'm going to play was written for a mechanical clock. It was not written for the organ. It was written for an organ, a mechanical organ, inside of a clock. Okay, that's what it is. And what it was, you've seen these kinds of things with not entirely different than like player pianos. It's a round cylinder and has little spikes, and maybe even like a Jack in the Box or something like that. Big, huge thing though, and it has little spikes and it plays the organ. Okay, with this piece that Mozart wrote for it, he wrote 3 pieces for mechanical organ. Mozart wrote very, very little for the organ in his entire lifetime. Played it all the time, but wrote very little for it. And this piece is probably his biggest organ piece, right? And pretty much well known. So we get to hear it tonight. Mozart did not like writing this piece. He knew that he was writing for a mechanical organ inside of a clock, and therefore there's only a small number of pipes, and it was going to be a little itty-bitty organ that he was not going to be able to do much with it. And he envisioned in his head that this would be played on a grand organ. So we get to indulge his desire tonight by hearing this on, and it's all his glory. It really shows Mozart in some of his finest writing. He wrote some beautiful fugues in here. A fugue becomes a double fugue later on. It's very, very dramatic piece, and I hope you enjoy. I kid you not, that's a hard one to play. Yeah, when you think you're done, you still got a long ways to go on that. The next two pieces, I'm going to play these together, back to back, with a commentary in between. The first one is one of my favorite arias in the opera repertoire. I am a budding opera aficionado. So if you ever want to go to see the Metropolitan Opera, check them out, and you can see them at Bay Park Square in the theater. And that is just a ton of fun. So there's a little plug for the Met. Or your local operas, okay, which are pretty cool. From Samson et Delilah, okay, Samson and Delilah, this aria, Mon cœur s'ouvre à ta voix, my heart opens to your voice, is what that is. Written in 1876, first performed in 1877. And at this point in the opera, many of you know the story. Samson is the smart one, right? And the aria is sung by Delilah, to Samson in Act 2 of the opera, as she attempts to seduce Samson into revealing the secret of his strength. And Samson calls her Delilah, je t'aime, I love you. Okay, to which Delilah responds with this aria, and really just an absolute beautiful piece. Following this, it seems right that we put two opera-type pieces together. So I'll be following this with Bohemian Rhapsody, Freddie Mercury's take on opera, and just a real fun piece to play on organ, and I hope you enjoy both. if you ever have a chance, that last piece works really, really good on a theater organ. So if you ever have a chance to hear an organist play that on a theater organ, it's really sweet. So we're coming near to the end. I would like to have a couple of announcements. First of all, there's a number of people I'd like to thank for this program. John Ireland to my left here, running his AV Tech, as well as Carol Shield down in the room, Alex Verstappen down in the room. They're broadcasting this live stream and recording it as well. I very much thank them. Joe Milhaupt, Harry Green, our maintenance people here. I'm just grateful for them. Cindy Van Graal in the office, she put together the handouts and stuff. Lina Green, she's wonderful. Thank you very much, Lina, for everything. Okay, that extends well beyond tonight. John Kopp, thank you for organizing this Power of Pipe series. This is not an insignificant effort. It continues to grow year to year to year, and thanks to John's effort and your attendance. So thank you very much for coming tonight. I'm so grateful for this. Look for these programs to continue next summer. We do them kind of marking back from the end of August to as many programs as we can get. This year I think we had 8. So it went to the beginning of July. Who knows? We may be bumping into June as this continues to grow. So thank you again for this. Again, the collection that's being taken, it's a free will offering. It benefits 2 things. We're going to split the proceeds tonight. Half of this is going to go to our scholarship program for American Guild of Organists chapters to recruit and train new organists, as well as then the other half is going to go to the Goodwill Pantry here at First United Methodist Church. So you're sharing your gifts with others as well. This next piece, the Variations on America, and yes, I know we're going to sing in between. The Variations on America by Charles Ives. Interesting piece. It was originally written for organ. A lot of people know this because of orchestration, but it was actually written for organ. Charles Ives was an organist. At that time, when he wrote this, back in the late 1800s, America was the de facto anthem of the United States. So My Country 'Tis of Thee was the de facto anthem. We didn't have an official anthem then. And so this was used for that. Tune is common in many places around the world. The British, of course, know this as God Save the King. It's the anthem of Norway, Kongesangen in Norway, Liechtenstein, Oben am Jungen Rhein, and it's also the former anthem for Russia, Switzerland, and Germany. So this is a very, very popular tune. Ives was 17 years old when he wrote this piece. So you hear a lot of fun youth in this piece. He wrote the piece for a 4th of July celebration at the Methodist Church in Brewster, New York. And it remained unpublished for many, many years until 1949 when it actually became available in print. E. Power Biggs brought it out. Introduction theme, there's variations, and coda at the end and stuff like that, so it's variations. 2 of the interludes use bitonality. This is the first time that we understand that Ives used bitonality. Each hand plays in a different key, okay? So that it makes a strange combination like that. So they're mercifully short interludes, right? But it's like if you think that's my hand is just gone in a weird spot, bitonality, okay? Ives was discouraged from playing this piece too often because, according to him, his father didn't let him do it too much because it made the boys laugh in church. so that's why it is semi-comical. Thank you again for coming today. We will proceed with singing America. I invite you to stand, sing with open hearts.